Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. So today's gonna be a story time from when I used to work at the hospital as registration. God only knows how many stories I have from working in the hospital. Oh my god. So many crackheaded stories. But today, this was one day that I was like, people are really psychotic. Like, people are really crazy. Like, they just don't think at all. And at this time, I was pregnant with my daughter. So I'm like eight months pregnant over it, like huge as hell. It's short-staffed, like really short-staffed. At one point, it was just like me and one girl running like 40 rooms and having to do admits and stuff. It was just a lot. But anyway, so the story starts off basically, okay, when in this hospital there was sections. So it was like section A, section B, you have rooms like 1 through 12, something. So at this point I'm in section C, and I was working like, I think it was like 9 to 6 that day, but it was so short staffed, we started getting mandatory shifts. So I had to work till 8 that day. So I was basically doing B and C, which B was always more fast-paced, but for some reason that day we were just not getting a lot of traumas or anything. So I was in C most of the time. Girl, so it starts off with me sitting at the computer, and when there was like nice nurses and doctors that weren't like dumb, and there are a lot of nurses or doctors treat you bad just because you're a registration. Like, we don't all want to be registration our whole lives, but damn, okay. So when there was good nurses, it was fun over there. So that day it was chill nurses and doctors, so it was a good day. And so where I was sitting is like a desk, and then in front of the desks are the rooms. So let's say room 17. This guy gets put in there, and he's in there because he tried meth for the first time with his friends. He thought it'd be fun, and was literally tweaking, like literally tweaking. So he had to have a sitter also because he was saying suicidal things. So he had to have a sitter in there, and for like 2-3 hours this guy's chilling. Like, he's eating chips, doing whatever, he's chilling. And then in room 16, I'm gonna give you 2 patients because these are the 2 main patients. There's all patients that I had to deal with, but this is the other patient that I deal with. Then there's a little girl, she's like 4, and her mom. And I had to go in there to register them, and nice. The mom was a little weird. She was acting like anxious and stuff, but they were nice. And the little girl was really cute. So she's registered, so I don't have to do anything else. And everybody in my zone at that point is registered. So I'm just sitting there. At this point, it's like 6 o'clock at night. So I have 2 hours left. I'm like, let's go. I'm ready to get out of here. I'm ready to go home to my little family. So whatever I thought I had at home, dumb. I was being dumb. But that's a whole nother story time. Anyway, I was ready to go. It was a long day. So that's when this guy starts tweaking. And when I mean tweaking, I mean he's trying to run out of his room. He's trying to get out of his bed. He's like, at this point, like pushing the sitter, because the sitter's in front of the door. At this point, he's like pushing her, trying to get past her to like outside. It was a lot, because he was waiting to have to go to a facility because he was going to be put on a hold for the suicidal thoughts and everything like that. But mostly it was just he was going crazy because he tried meth. Let's try meth. This just could not be me. I still don't understand, I guess. So at this point, he's starting to say that he's trying to basically say this was at a point when like Black Lives Matter was going on, like, if you get what I mean. So he was basically trying to say they were trying to like poison him or stick him or do something like that. Okay, let me tell. Okay, all of the nurses over there were white, and then there was a PCA, which was Mexican, sitting there, and then there was me. So he's going crazy, saying like they're trying to stick him and everything. As this is happening, a transporter comes up and he's about to transport a patient out. And this guy, okay, I'm gonna stop saying this guy, I'm gonna call him like Tyrone. Tyrone knows this transporter. Like, they're friends. So he's like, at this point, he's screaming, trying to get to this guy. He's like, don't let them stick me. Don't let them kill me. They're gonna kill me. Don't let them stick me. And I'm sitting there like, and the transporter, you can tell he likes his job. He's not trying to lose his job. So he's sitting there like, so at this point, he's screaming, like this guy's, Tyrone is screaming on the top of his lungs. And he's like, Black Lives Matter, I know y'all care. And then he looks at me and the Mexican girl and he's like, y'all are just gonna let them kill me? And I'm, sir, what? Sir, don't talk to us because you wanted to do some weird shit and try meth. Anyway, so literally he's going crazy. Mind you, there's other rooms around. He slams himself and unlocks a door and goes in a patient's room. And this patient is quadriplegic, weighs down, they can't move. And the patient's like scared. Tyrone grabs onto the patient's bed. He's not letting go. The nurses are trying to pull him off. At this point, the transporter's in there, his friend trying to get him off. This man's just going crazy. So finally they end up calming this man down. He's like, can I talk to my friend? And they just let him talk to his friend because they're like, this guy is something. Like, he really just went in there and slammed himself. Like what? Like, excuse me? Like, are you okay, sir? Which is really, because I was nervous for the other patient, because the other patient, you know, he couldn't even move. So he was probably like, what is this man doing? Is he okay? Plus the guy was like tweaking, so he's like shaking and stuff. Ridiculous. But anyway, you think that's bad? Wait until what else happens. So they get this man under control. He eventually leaves and goes to his little institution, wherever he's going. And he get, like, his room gets replaced, blah, blah, blah. They're registered, blah. Now this is where the little girl and the mom comes into play. At this point, it's 7:30. Mind you, I'm leaving at 8. And so the little girl and the mom get discharged. And so there's a bathroom like on the way out, and like, usually patients use it all the time before they leave. They'll be like, how do I get out? And then like I'll tell them you go around, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna use the bathroom fast. So I'm sitting here with the nurses. It's just me and like these 2 nurses. And the mom and the daughter go in the bathroom, and nobody thinks anything of it. But at this point, they've been in there for like 6-7 minutes. So the nurse looks at me and she's like, they've been in there for a while, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, I'm going to put an IV in this patient, room 12, whatever. When I come back, if she's not in there, I'll go check on her. But if for some reason you need anything, press the panic button. Mind you, there's 2 panic buttons. You can press 1 and security's coming running. Or you can press 2 and the nurses will come out. It like pings the nurses or something like that, I don't know. So I'm sitting there on my phone because I have no more patience to do anything too. But I keep at this point the little girl's opening the door and shutting the door and opening the door, and I'm like, what the freak? What's going on here? Are you okay? Mind you, I'm big as hell. I'm 8 months pregnant at this point. So she keeps opening the door, and then at this point she comes out and she's like, mommy. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, I think mommy's sleeping. And at that point I'm like, oh shit, sleeping. So I get up and the bathroom's right across from me. So I get up and I look. The mom is laying with her hands like this on the toilet. She looks passed out, and there's white powder on the floor. So I'm sitting like, I know this girl didn't just do this. I know she didn't just do this. So I take my little self out there. I wobble my big ass out there. And I press the panic button for the nurses. So the nurses come running, and she's like, what's going on? And I said, I'm pretty sure she did some drugs in there. And the nurse goes, what? So I'm sitting back at my desk. At this point, I have the little girl. Hold on. Yeah, so this lady ended up going in the bathroom after her daughter got discharged and doing drugs and overdosing. So they had to drag her into her own room. And basically they had to call the grandparents to come pick up the kid. Yeah. Mother of the year. Yeah, that story was a mess, but be looking for more videos.